What's going on, everyone? This is Kevin here, coming at you with my hands-on and first impressions video of the Motorola One 5G Ace. This is one of the latest mid-range devices from Motorola, and I'm really excited to check it out in this video. Now, this device was launched very recently in January of 2021, and to learn more about pricing and availability, take a look at the links in the video description. Now, this device is factory unlocked and will work with any carrier in the US, which is certainly really awesome. And I know it's also being sold in other parts of the world as well. Now, with this device, we're getting a very large display at 6.7 inches. The display itself is IPS LCD at 1080p. We're getting a PPI here of 393, a 20:9 aspect ratio, so a more narrow but taller form factor, and we're getting an 85.7% screen to body ratio. So in general, taking a look at the design here, it does remind me quite a bit of the Galaxy A51, for example, and then also the LG K92 5G. But the actual design certainly is very practical. Now, I am a big fan of the placement of the front-facing camera. It is here in a hole punch form factor, and the camera itself is 16 megapixels. Now, stay tuned for my full review video, as I'll show you a variety of different photo and video samples from the phone. But with this device, we're getting 128 gigabytes of internal storage with microSD card expansion. So I do appreciate that they are giving us a very generous amount of storage, and then of course, if you do want to add more, then you have that ability. Now, out of the box, expect to have about 15% of the storage being used. Of course, that's for system software and other pre-installed applications, but you can see that you are getting quite a bit of free space out of that 128 gigabytes that you can use for other things. Now, there's no wireless charging with the Motorola One 5G Ace, but we do get a fingerprint sensor on the back side of the phone. Let's give that fingerprint sensor a try right now. So very quick there. Let's try that out one more time. Definitely very fast. Now, in addition to that, this phone does also support face unlock, so yet another method to get into your phone. Now, with this device, we do have a triple camera setup. So there's a 48 megapixel main camera, an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, and a 2 megapixel macro camera for close-up images. This phone does support portrait mode for both the rear and front cameras as well. So if you're a fan of getting those nice blurred out backgrounds, then you definitely get that here with this phone. Now, here's how things look on the camera app through the main camera right now. Then from here, we can easily switch over to macro mode to get those nice close-up images in really good detail. We're also able to switch over to the ultra wide angle camera. And again, you're able to fit a lot more content into the frame. The ultra wide camera is especially helpful when you're outdoors, because when you use it to take photos of scenery or different buildings, it really gives you a whole different perspective. But then from here, we can go over to the extra menu tab, and then we can go over to portrait mode. And then again, we get those nice blurred out backgrounds here. We can also switch around to the front facing camera for the same effect. And then of course, you can turn off portrait mode if you don't want it. So definitely a lot of different options here when it comes to mobile photography. Now, internally with the phone, we're getting 6 gigabytes of RAM, and we're getting the Qualcomm Snapdragon 750G 5G processor. So of course, as the name implies, this phone does support 5G, so that certainly is a bit of a benefit, whether or not you even have 5G in your area, because it does give this device a bit more longevity compared to phones that are just limited at LTE. But I did run a benchmark test using Geekbench 5 with the device. You can see we got a single core score of 661 and a multi-core score of 2010. So pretty good scores all around. So what I recommend doing is running this test on your current phone and then compare your scores to these scores to get a better idea of the type of performance upgrade that you're getting here with the phone. But I'd imagine that for most people out there, this will be a very nice upgrade, and they definitely gave this phone a very solid processor that's going to give you good performance. Now, video recording with the Motorola One 5G Ace maxes out at 4K with the rear camera and 1080p with the front camera. Now, this device features a very large 5,000 milliamp hour internal battery and does support fast charging at up to 15 watts. So having that really beefy battery is going to be very good for a variety of different reasons. Obviously, it's going to give you very good battery life, but it's also going to give you a lot more longevity, because as the battery degrades over time, which happens to every battery in every phone, it's going to be a bit less noticeable because you're already getting a very massive, almost oversized battery here with this device. Now this phone does support NFC, which is very awesome. So if you are looking to use it to make mobile payments, then you will have that capability. Now the software on here is Android 10. It's a pretty clean, almost stock variant of it. Of course, Motorola did add in their own various tweaks. That just adds to the user experience, and there really aren't any gimmicks with the software. But definitely stay tuned for a future video where I'll go over a variety of different tips and tricks with this device. I am a bit disappointed though that it does have Android 10 and not Android 11. I'm certainly hoping that the phone eventually does get that update though, and I do have a pretty good feeling that it will get it. But now that we've gone over the major specifications of the Motorola Moto One 5G Ace, let's take a closer look at the hardware. So I already talked quite a bit about the front panel here, and in general, I think things do look nice. We have pretty small bezels all throughout, and I like that we do have that hole punch centered at the top for the front-facing camera. Now the display on here does look pretty good, nice and bright with solid colors. I do wish though that it was OLED, because I know that if it did have an OLED display, the colors would pop even more. But given what it is, I'm totally fine with the display quality. Now this phone is made completely out of plastic, besides the display, which is glass, but I think it looks very nice in general. I'm definitely a big fan of this material on the back. It's pretty different from other materials that I've seen in other devices, and it almost looks like they glued aluminum foil to the back of the phone. But I do think it looks really interesting and pretty unique. Now taking a look at the left side of the device, we just have the slot for the microSD card and SIM card. On the right side of the phone, we have the power button, volume down, and volume up. Then up top here, we have the noise canceling microphone. And then on the bottom, we have the 3.5mm headphone jack, USB-C port for charging and data transfer, microphone, and the speaker. Then on the back of the phone, we have the triple camera setup, the flash, and the fingerprint sensor. Now here is the box that the Moto One 5G Ace comes in. You can see 5G branding up there in the corner. But let's open it up and see what all we get included. So we get a 10-watt USB wall adapter. We get a USB-C cable for charging and data transfer. We get a SIM card removal tool. And we get some Motorola One 5G Ace literature. But this concludes my hands-on and first impressions video of the Motorola One 5G Ace. I'm definitely looking forward to spending more time with this phone prior to creating the full review video, but definitely stay tuned to see that content here on the channel. But my name is Kevin, and this is the Motorola One 5G Ace hands-on and first impressions video, and I will see you in the next one.